Welcome back to another episode of The Dressing Room, where we try on new perspectives, one conversation at a time. And today we're excited to introduce our new background, our little setup,
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
our nice little setup we got going on in here. And thank you all for bearing with us through the evolution of the dressing room. First, it was cushy conversations. Then it was the dressing room at my house. Now it's the dressing room. Listen, we appreciate you all. And we are so glad you all are still tuned in and still ready for another episode. So, without further ado, I am your host, Jasmine, and this is my co host.
Matasha.
And today we have a little, tricky conversation to have. We're going to be talking about outgrowing people, what that feels like, how do you do it, all the things. So, first question is, and that's for you and for Matasha,
Hmm.
but have you ever felt like you're becoming someone that your circle no longer understands? Let's let that one sink in for a little bit. Have you ever felt like you're becoming someone that your circle, your current circle, don't understand? Nobody really talks about how lonely that particular growth can feel. And have you ever experienced that? Have you ever experienced that type of um situation where you were outgrowing your circle?
Definitely. I feel like I'm going through that now, and I know I've gone through it. I feel like you go through it actually almost every decade.
In your
you
20s and your
know,
30s and your 40s?
yeah. And it might not seem so much like when you go from your 20s to your 30s, because it seems like you probably have a lot of the same friends during that time,
Mm-hmm.
but you are constantly growing. If you're changing jobs, you're shifting and you outgrow
Mm.
people, you know what I'm saying? So you meet new
Yeah.
people, and then sometimes those people from the last job might not fit with the new,
Yeah.
but I think the hardest part is outgrowing people that have been with you for a long time.
Yeah.
Like you put like 20 years on it or 15 years. That's
Ooh.
a long time to say, you know what, we just don't fit no more.
Right.
Those be the gut punch, just where you like, how do I walk away from this relationship?
And it's so much history, and it's so much bonding going on there. It's so much of partying and having a good time, having your bad times, having your, not so,
Yeah,
in between times, I guess. And then having to let that go can be a struggle.
right. But necessary. That's the that's the hard part. Learning that is necessary.
So, when you say outgrowing people, or when you think about outgrowing people, what's your definition of outgrowing people?
My definition would be, mm, we're no longer aligned. We just don't align. Like the conversations change. Well, we might at one time had conversations about, partying and doing this and doing that, and now you no longer, but they're still in that space and you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You be like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Be like, your the things you're into change and theirs don't. And they're like, you don't want to do them? Like, no, I don't even really like doing that no more. Man, we used to do this all the time. Yeah. And then how do you continue if they don't want to come into your what you're doing now and you don't want to stay there, then what?
Right. And then I think when you have those long relationships, you also go through a period of time where you feel like I can help them. I can get them on my level
Yeah.
type of thing. I can bring
Yeah.
them. It's cool. We got this. We gonna go together. We gonna make it to the top together. I ain't gonna leave you behind. And you
Right.
think about all of those phrases, and it's like I can't just cut them off.
Right. Right.
So you feel like how can I bring them with me? And then the guilt you may feel behind knowing that I can't bring them with me because I can't make them do something that they're not willing to do. And that's the work to get
Right.
to the next level. So now what do I do with this person if I can't take them with me on my next journey? And people talk about it, right?
Yeah.
People talk about it. It's easy to say things than to actually do them.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very easy to say, "Oh, listen, they can't come with you on your next journey. They can't
Mm-hmm.
come with you to your next level." And it's like, I hear you, and I believe you, but how am I supposed to do that? Do I have a conversation and say, "Hey, look, bruh, you ain't really looking on point. You know, it's time for us to go ahead and cut our losses," or do I slowly but surely start to just venture out and go my own way?
And when people, like you said, people will tell you that, but most people don't tell you how to do that.
Yeah, most people don't tell you
A lot
the
of people haven't done it.
yeah, they haven't. They don't tell you the grief that's gonna come with that.
It's great.
Because
Anytime
now,
you let go is grief.
right, because now you gotta deal with them not being there, even for the fun times that you did have with them. So
Right.
the core of you may be business and work and kids and family, but what about that little piece of, oh, I want to go
Mm-hmm.
to the club, I want to have a little fun. This was that person. So now you gotta realign yourself because you done had to knock a few off the line.
Yeah. And partying changes, it may look like a brunch every now and then, but grown and sexy brunch is not the same type of brunch. Things just shift. And you know what? I think when you align with yourself, it's easier to let go and align with others or to unalign. But yeah, it's definitely more people need to know. I'm sure there's more people that want to know, how do I do this?
Mm.
And knowing, I'm gonna tell you, one of the biggest things I know is a problem for people is, you know, um I know I feel like I'm outgrowing them, but do I stay in it a little while longer to see if they'll eventually change and come over, or do I just let go? Knowing when to get out, knowing when to stay in it, how long to stay in it, how much of yourself do you continue to give this person or people to see if they will grow with you? And maybe where they are, they're just comfortable, and you just got to be like, okay. But how do you know when enough is enough? You've given enough, you put enough into it.
I think those types of questions, you make your own decision.
Yeah.
I think you decide when enough is enough. Can't nobody else tell you when enough is enough for you. But I do feel like I've ran into situations where you have that guilt behind leaving somebody behind. Or I think in my situation, what I've learned in my life is that you can even do it or God gonna do it.
Absolutely.
That's what I've learned. So to be
Mm.
honest, I feel like knowing that I had my first loss was my best friend of 10 plus years. And as much as we had moments where we could have probably ended the friendship if we
Mm-hmm.
had that conversation, if we continued on that argument, if we brought up the things we needed to bring up, it
Right.
might have ended 5 years ago. But we
Right.
never had those conversations that was deep down that we may have wanted to say. That
Right.
came with being young and dumb and just not knowing and not having the tools to have those conversations, and out of fear of losing the person.
Yeah.
But I think once you have lost a person and it was no longer in your control, like as much as you wanted to hold on to the pieces are broken. The glass is shattered.
Mm.
There's no way to put that back together. So what I noticed that, and then I had a back to back situation. I lost my best friend and then I left my boyfriend. And
Right.
both of those situations ended out of my control.
Right.
You start to realize that you have no control over this. So
Right.
either you do it or he do it.
Because the universe is taking you there, taking you
It's gonna
through
take you
there.
through this. Yeah.
Now you can
Listen,
even do it on your own, or because we try to avoid it. We think we can
you
duck and
can't
dodge.
avoid it.
If I do this, then I can stay her friend or I can stay with him.
Right.
Oh no, the universe has already decided.
Yeah.
So this is happening one way or the other.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you let the universe, it hurts. I know for me it did.
I
It
think
was
that
worse.
I'm not sure which one is, and when I say I'm not sure, because now in relationships with friendships or family or whoever, it can be difficult approaching those hard conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Saying, "Hey, I need to talk to my mother about X, Y, and Z," or "I need to talk to him about what I heard or what I saw." It can be very difficult to approach the people that you love about topics that may or may not ruin this, because I don't know how you gonna receive it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you gonna come out of a bag on me. So it can be very difficult telling you my truth and hoping you don't take it personal.
Right.
So that can be just as difficult as it might be less difficult to just let the universe, let God handle it. Shit, I don't just shit, he threw that away. Sometimes people will take that route over having to actually stand up to that loved one, that friendship, that whoever. They'll just let it. We just gonna ride this thing out, see what happens. Some people prefer to do it that way.
Some people do, but from my experience, I've learned that riding it out,
What
you get
experience are you
damaged.
talking about?
You get damaged because you stay in it. Because think about it, if you've been in it 5 years and you know this ain't working, and you can have the conversation, and it's and you know it could go either way when I bring this conversation up, but still you need to have the conversation. But if you stay in it and be like, I'm gonna ignore it, it may go on for another 5 or 10 years. Like y'all ignoring what needs to be addressed, and now y'all just gave up 5 or 10 years. So the universe might be working and planning, and it's gonna come. But do you really want to sit in it 5 or 10 more
But
years?
so the only difference between you doing it and allowing God to do it is time. You miss out on time.
Yeah, and
Some people
time
will
is
wait that time.
precious. I
It
know
is.
people will wait that time because they don't realize how precious time is.
Yeah.
You can't get that back. You can find another friend. You can find another man. It's billions of people in the world. We can attach ourselves to people. We don't get time back. And I feel like I lost a lot of time thinking I could fix this, or if I stayed in it just a little longer, if me just thinking about how, I'm a puzzle person, so I like to put the pieces together. How could I gotta fix this?
Give
This
us a
can be
relationship
fixed.
that
You're
you
in
had
my
to fix.
business.
We want to
See.
get. We want to know what experiences you have that
Well,
you. And then how many times have you done this? You seem to be well versed in this topic on outgrowing people, and it's crazy because I think even with this topic, you don't realize that you can outgrow anyone. Like
oh
it's not
yeah,
just friends. You can outgrow
you
your
can outgrow
family
family.
members, your
Yes.
mother, father, brother,
Did you say
sister,
motherfucker?
father, motherfucking fathers.
Are you upset?
I got a bone to pick. I mean, but you really got to know where you're going
Yes.
and who can and who cannot go with you. And I think another thing is people don't always have to be X'd off the list. They
No.
don't have to be plucked off the ship. They just
Mm-mm.
got to be put to the back
They
of
gotta
the
be
ship.
moved.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They got to be put in a list. And you start to just create a space between you and that person, because birds of a feather flock together.
Mm.
And you may have to go in your own little zone to focus on where you're
Yeah.
trying to go. I've realized that when I was into like bedroom candy, being around everybody that was bedroom candy,
Mm-hmm.
we did what we needed. The energy was
Right.
loud. The energy is loud.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm at work and I'm around everybody that bartend and serve drinks, we can relate. The energy is there.
Right.
When I'm doing podcast stuff and I'm talking to other people that podcast, those are the people that I feel most close to, because we doing the same thing. We bouncing ideas off each other. So it's like it's necessary for you to gravitate to where you're going.
Yeah.
Gravitate towards those people. So yeah, what was your personal situation that you had? Which one that you would like to, let us know about?
Oh, where would I start? Well, I'm gonna say the one of the biggest relationships that it took me a long time to let that thing go. Like with my husband, my ex-husband.
What's his
Yeah.
name for the record?
If you know, you know.
Ah.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so letting go of that, and that starts from childhood, because that started at 15.
Yeah.
So you think about meeting somebody at 15, the infatuation, you think you're in love. Then I told myself, when I met this man, I'm gonna marry this man, and I did.
Right.
You know, now things transpired. When I say, as much as I loved him and he loved me, the red flags was pow pow
They
pow
was
pow,
everywhere.
boom,
They
babe,
had hit you a
yeah.
few times, and you just said that ain't
And I'm
right.
like, go ahead. 'Cause I'm in this. I got this.
But you know what? That happens. Even in friendship and other things, the red flags that hit you.
Ooh, hit you
And
right
we
in the
just take it
face.
on the chin and be like,
Yeah.
that ain't about nothing. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
we'll take it
And
on the
I
chin.
did. And I kept thinking in my head, yeah, and then when you raised a certain way and you raised to survive and push through and you can, so for me, staying in that thing was me fighting, and I'm going to win. I'm going to make this work. This is going to work.
Right.
And there were some great things that came out of it, like my children. We grew together. We learned a lot about life together, but we weren't aligned to stay together.
Right.
But because in the different moments where I almost walked away, it was always something. I don't know. I can't put a name to it. Pulling me back. Will pull me right back
Every
into
time
it.
I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back, telling me I need you in my life. Every time I try to go, something keeps telling me that, everything gonna be alright. I hope I sound good in this mic.
I hope you do too. But yeah, and that's exactly how I felt in that relationship.
It was the kids.
Oh yeah, that definitely played a big role in it, because we both wanted y'all to have something different than what we had. Have a two parent household, have everything that we didn't have. So that was it. It's like we had goals for family, like for y'all, for our life, for business, money, and we were good at that. But we weren't that great at each other.
Ever?
Let's just say this: he was a good provider and protector. He wasn't good at loving, caring for my heart
from the jump.
Okay. And for me, I was an enabler, because no matter how much he colored outside the lines, I covered it up. So I was good at fixing. Like everybody had to see that we were working. We were the ideal couple. He's flawless because I could perform. I could go into action. So I could put on that show, and yeah, we were good. I was good at that. I learned that from childhood.
Right.
How to bullshit.
Yeah.
You're
still doing it to this day.
No. Now, the thing, because I didn't leave when I should have left, is that eventually God stepped in.
As he do.
And when he stepped in, I lost more than the relationship.
Ooh, that is a good point when you say you sat around and you allowed God to handle it. See, a lot of us are sitting around allowing God to handle it, and it was worse. Would you like to elaborate? I mean, just a smidge, because we got other stuff to talk about. But I guess I can actually
300-pound
smidge. I know a little bit. I can say it. But when you think about even that, when we say let's do it, I think our biggest takeaway, and we ain't even at the end, but one of our biggest takeaways when it comes to outgrowing people, and when you see those signs and you can feel it, and your spirit is starting to feel away, your intuition is telling you what this is. You do it first. Yeah. And it's a power that comes over you when you start doing it first, because you already know what's going on. Take control of your life. A lot of us don't have no control over what's going on in our lives.
Right.
But when you take control, you get to dictate when it's going in. Yeah. It don't just abruptly happen. You get to dictate how it's going in. And the thing about you doing it is you get to go into that conversation already knowing, hey, this could go good or go bad. I got to be ready and willing for it to go either way. It could go either way.
And not be attached to, see, when we attach to the results, that's what messes up, because I need the result I want.
Exactly. Woo, that's a good one. When you're not attached, and I learned that in business. It was, what was the phrase? Be consistent with the process and not attached to the results. And
Yes.
when you think about business, it's so similar to personal. The
Mm-hmm.
things that you learn in business and how to move in business is damn near the same way you need to move in your personal life.
It is.
When I go into a conversation, and one of some of the most hardest conversations have been with my mom or with my dad, you got to go into it and say, well, shit, if I lose this person, I got to be okay with it. But I feel good because I came to you with my truth. I came to you knowing that this conversation needed to be had. But some of y'all used to just dragging and putting everything under the rug. I'm just not one of them. I don't want to do that. And if I lose you because you rather scrape it under the rug, that's on you. I'm gonna be okay with that. And I'm gonna be okay with not wasting time. But back to you, I think when you think about the fact that he was ripped, like you didn't do it yourself, he was ripped
No.
away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you lost more than just him.
Right.
And how long was y'all together?
Well, we met at 15. We broke up around 16-ish or something like that. I don't even know we was together a whole year. We broke up, got back at 19, and
Okay.
then we was together. So from 15 to like 30. How old was we when he?
I don't remember all
So
that.
at least about 15 years.
Yeah.
It was about 15 years. So we were
Imagine staying in
teenagers,
something.
then 4 children. We had the life. We had the house. We had the car. We had the business.
It
We
just
had it
looked
all.
nice on the
And it
outside.
looked great, but it was
Just
a
like
lot going on.
friendships.
They
We
look
go out,
great.
we take pictures, we kiki,
but the
in
things need to be said ain't being said.
Ooh, it's giving me chills a little bit.
Ooh, we best friends, but low key, are we?
Because the thing you did yesterday kind of threw me off, and I want to address it, but then you tell yourself maybe I'm thinking too much.
And
maybe
do
I'm
I feel
too...
safe with you?
Ooh.
And how are you my best friend if I ain't safe with you? That's the thing. How do we get so comfortable in relationships and we feel so unsafe in these relationships? Because you got to feel unsafe if you don't feel like you can open up and say whatever you need to say. It don't feel safe until it does.
And you know why it becomes so hard and some people never do it? Because we're not taught to just have the conversation. We're not doing it with our kids while they're young so they can know that this is a normal thing.
Right.
Hey, what's the issue? Is there a problem? Is it something you need to talk to me about?
Right.
Let's discuss what happened yesterday with, such and such. We don't even give our kids that line of communication to talk about the things that's going on. It's just, be quiet, man. That was yesterday. Move on.
Yeah.
So you're programmed to just, that was yesterday. I need to move. Now, you know what? It's in the past.
That's how we collect bags. So now I'm going to put it in a bag and
exactly.
And because you don't let go of it because it ain't solved. Exactly. So you just put it in a bag. And eventually that bag is heavier and heavier.
Yeah. And then you carrying it around.
And then you carry it around. And if you started carrying that bag as a child,
now you're walking around looking like a trash bag.
And as an adult, you got it. And then you have kids. And who gets it? Your kids.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest to make that decision on your own. I actually practice that now in my life. And it's because of those relationships that was ripped abruptly. You learn like, dang, I ain't got no control over this. Like it'll
and you really don't.
How hard you try, how much you brush under the rug.
You don't have no control. We think, well, you know what? Right now, I'm comfortable whether this is working or not. I don't want to shake the fence because I don't know what's on the other side of the fence. So you find a way to become comfortable in that chaos because you're afraid of what's on the other side. Even if it's chaos, you in it anyway. So what are you afraid of? You ain't got nothing to lose, but this current situation. And then are you losing?
See, but you know what? I also have realized in my experiences that some people don't move because they're also afraid of people not understanding their move or not understanding their change or their shift. And it's like, you got to live life for you. A lot of people are not going to understand. But you know what? You know what gets me?
What gets you?
What gets me is, didn't nobody understand why you stayed with the trifling ass nigga and you never gave a fuck.
Right.
Clock it. But now you want to know, but now you may feel misunderstood if you just abruptly leave. So why do we pick and choose when we want to be understood or not? Because if we want to stay with the nigga that ain't good, or if we want to stay in that bad friendship that don't make sense, we don't care about being misunderstood. Because it's comfortable, because we've been here for so long, because it aligns with our inner spirit. I
Right.
don't know. But I've noticed that too.
Yeah. How's it gonna look? Like when people say in marriages, because
Yeah.
how is it gonna look? We get a divorce, and people are gonna wonder what happened. Well, blah blah blah. What do you mean how's it gonna look? It's gonna look like it just didn't work. That's all it's gonna
I think
do.
people should be more okay with knowing that everybody ain't meant to be with everybody. Like
Every
everything ain't gonna
decision
work.
you made was not the best decision, and
Right.
sometimes that's marriage. Just because you picked that person, don't mean that person was supposed to be part of your ending alignment.
Yeah.
It may have worked at the time, or y'all met for a reason. I do
Yeah.
believe that everybody I've ever met, I met for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that. But we get locked on staying.
Yeah.
Locked in. Well, how you got to be locked in? Nobody wants to be locked in. You don't want to be locked in. It's too close to locked up. Who
Yeah.
wants to be trapped?
I don't want to be trapped.
I even want to be in a relationship that feels free.
Yeah.
But because I've already been in one that felt locked up.
Yeah.
I couldn't
And
be
I think,
me.
like you said, I feel like the reasons why we stayed in those was probably 80% based on the way you was raised.
Yeah.
In childhood. What
Comfort.
you saw, what you thought was love.
Yeah.
Because in so many ways we listen to our parents, whether it's our mother or our father, and see how they're doing things, and then we like, oh, okay, cool. I know for sure there's some things that I made sure I copied just because my mother did it that way. As she said, you need to have somebody that's a provider and that's gonna take care of you. I found those things. She had her kids at a certain age. I had my kids around that same age. I wanted to be young and cute when I had my kids. I didn't want to be old and dusty.
And see, the thing is, for me, my husband gave me something my father didn't. And that kept me locked in longer.
Security.
Exactly. So as a child, and then you run into somebody.
It's that one thing you was missing that this
thing
person
that I
have,
needed as a
so
child.
You can
He gave me
off of this because you've been searching for this all your life. Yeah.
So now it's like I know I'm not getting this, but I'm getting this.
So I'll just take this because.
So this is keeping me. You know how them chargers that got.
That's just keeping it on. It ain't charging you.
You're just keeping it on, right? And that's what we do. We twist it, and now that we're gonna do whatever we need to do. A broken charger, shortage in it, everything. No, just wind it and lay it on this side.
Wrap it around the phone.
It's gonna charge. You gotta watch it though, because it might.
You might can get a good 2%, but it's gonna die. It ain't gonna really get you to 100.
It ain't gonna get you to 100.
It'll keep you on.
It keep you on. That's just enough. Mm-hmm. Just enough to know you got breath in your body. That's it. Mm-hmm. But are you breathing really? Mm-hmm. You know them times when you had the moments where stuff happens and you feel like you stop breathing? Imagine being in a relationship where you're constantly not breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay for people to understand that even though you outgrow people, it don't mean you stop loving them.
Oh, yeah.
You still love people from afar. Like you really want them to do well. You really want them to excel in life. And the love doesn't die.
No.
You just have realized that I'm going in a different direction. And the wiser we become, we're hoping that our friends and our partners and whoever is in our circle is going to wise up with us and come. But the reality is that may not be what takes place.
Yeah. People don't always do it immediately. But I do think being honest helps people. When you just say, I got to tell you, I got to talk to you about something. And you tell them, you literally just say it. And I've learned it's so much easier than I thought before to just say it and get it out. Once it's out, it's out. And you be surprised at how people respond. Yes, because somebody like, you know what? Or they might say, you know what? I was thinking about the same thing. I just didn't know how to say it. I've had people say that to me. You know what? I was going to bring that up. I just didn't know how to bring it up. And then to me, that means you don't feel safe with me either. Not that I didn't feel safe having a conversation with you, but you didn't feel safe having it with me. So I'm no more safer than you in this situation. Because I think the easier, like me and you can have a lot more conversations and just bring stuff up because we now feel safe to say, just say it. Because at the end of the day, what's like you said, what's the worst that's
You
gonna
know what I
happen?
think though, between you and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once you have that first case of situations,
Mm.
the cases start to become less and less
They
because you
do.
realize who you dealing with. You
Mm-hmm.
realize who you fucking with.
Yeah.
You do. So you move at a pace where you don't trip the landmine.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
And you know what their triggers are. Because you study them. Because you
Yeah.
enjoy that relationship. You study them. You don't run into cases that often.
Right.
And if you do, it's small stuff. Like the
Yeah.
case we ran into at the wine spot. And it's not nothing big to me, but I gotta remind you, Mom, don't mediocreize yourself. Order what you
Oh
want.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And I'll say it. If anybody else heard me say it, they'd be like, she rude.
Yeah.
But I know my mom, and I know when I'm like, do you want this? Do you want? I mean, I'll just get what you want because you're gonna piss me off. But stuff like that is just like, okay, she know I'm gonna say it, and the way that I say it or the way that we talk, we know how to receive it. Like, all right, okay, I got you, and we move on. So we don't have a lot of situations that come up, and if we do, we have learned how to bring those conversations up. So it's not like
Right. It's not like you gotta have a
we
whole thing. It's not a
yeah.
whole thing
But
anymore.
when you're not afraid of losing a person, you
Yeah.
can just bring it up.
And that's because that person is safe. Come on in, sit down. You got a problem? Did I do something? What happened?
Yeah.
They make you feel safe.
And it has to be that on both. Somebody has to start it though. It has to be that on both ends. And I feel like in our relationship, I had to jumpstart that. So it was conversations that may have been had. So I can. You don't think so?
Okay. It's like, no, go ahead.
I feel like I came to you personally and was like, "Hey, Mom, you said X, Y, and Z. I can name a few."
Well, probably in that instance, you probably did start it.
But I do feel like eventually um it get to a point, and then you realize that she gonna come and bring it up anyway, so we might as well just have it, had a conversation. But I think that it takes a lot of practice. I'm not saying that it's easy, and I
It's
try to
not.
tell people that having these conversations, especially when it's somebody that you've been dealing with for a very long time, or y'all solid, or it's a parent or a sister,
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy. But you gotta know what your end goal is.
Yeah.
And what you want to get out of. I'm always entering conversations to be able to better me and the other person. Because I feel like if I don't help you, if I don't address this, then you're going to continue to do this to other people. And you may not even see that it's a problem the way you showing up.
And two things you said I wanted to address. Now, the one thing, like you coming, you starting it and initiating it, right? I also feel like, at least when we were raising y'all, we would tell y'all, say what you need to say. It's just a way you say it. Speak your mind. We want to know what's going on with you. We want to know what's in your head, right? Where when I was raised, they want to know what was in your head. Don't speak your mind. Don't say.
Okay, generation.
You know what I'm saying? Mind your business. Just it don't matter.
Shut up.
You got food. You got clothes. Your trauma right now, we ain't dealing with whatever it was. You don't get to. We didn't get to speak on it.
Right.
Y'all got to have a voice.
Yeah.
So it was probably. I'm not saying
Maybe
it was easier to you to get to that point before me, because this is how even in my marriage, I didn't feel like
you had a voice.
Yeah.
Or that you had control.
Well, I didn't use it. I'm not saying he ever took it. He wasn't abusive or nothing like that, y'all. Never. He wasn't abusive. It was more, he was just him, and him being him, I got hurt. It was like just being caught in a line of fire, Yeah. He's never really meant to hurt me. Him just living his life, I just got hurt by loving him and wanting him to love me the way I needed to be loved, but he didn't have that capacity.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see that. But so I do feel that about the different generations and how we get to that and how some of y'all can get to it quicker than we do. Mm-hmm. That's why a lot of parents a lot of times have resistance about opening up, receiving what you about to come here and you want to speak to me about, because we like, hold on, we didn't get to do that. That was like a disrespect. So when you say you want to come and open up, or you got a bone you want to pick, like you don't get to pick a bone with me. I'm your mother. And that's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I forgot my second point.
Okay.
Okay. I know
Or
what I was going to say.
okay.
Can I say it? My mother, me and my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I was going to, this is one of the main points I wanted to make. You can let go or find a place for anybody, no matter how close the relationship is. Because I think a lot of people feel like, that's my mother, because I felt like that. That's my mother. So I got to figure out how to make this work, how we stay in communication, have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned with my mother, our relationship was always a little distant, a little up and down, in and out. There were at least a year or so when I didn't talk to her, and that was years at a time.
Right.
We might talk, and then we don't. And that would hurt me. I'm like, it's my mother, though. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then we finally had some conversations, and I learned more about her. I understood her more. And even though I still wanted to have a closer relationship with her, I had to respect where she was emotionally and
Mm-hmm.
mentally and give her that space. So if I don't talk to my mother for 6 months, I know it's not because I don't love my mother, she don't love me. That's just where we are.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be that way. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another form of letting go of that expectation of that relationship.
Right.
So hearing myself say I had to let my mother go sounds like,
Yeah.
your mother? Yeah, I did. Now, when she wants to call, if she calls, probably won't call.
Right.
We have a conversation like, we
You
good. I
enjoy the
found
pieces of the puzzle that you do get to have.
exactly because those pieces. You ever tried to make a piece fit that don't
It
fit?
don't fit.
It don't fit. I
Mm-hmm.
can't make this be something it ain't.
It's not. Yeah.
But you know what? The picture, the picture is beautiful when you put the pieces together that's supposed to go together. Because for me, what we have is beautiful now.
Right. And which means when you think about outgrowing people, I think the other thought, the positive thought is making room for the people that align,
That part.
you know?
And that's why we outgrow things. That's
Mm-hmm.
why leaves die because new leaves
The
are
pruning
coming.
season.
The that part.
And understanding that if I don't prune this, I won't get that. It don't they
Mm.
can't they don't work where it's like oil and water. If I don't get rid of the oil, I won't get the water.
Yeah, yeah.
So you really gotta
They
be
can't live in a
in
lot
the
of
same.
things
Yeah,
can't live in the
they
same
can't
space. They can't
mix.
share the same space. It just don't.
So you really gotta be on point and be okay with the reality. I always tell people like it's a fairy tale world that you can live in, and it's
Yeah.
a reality world that you can live in. You get to choose. You're in
Oh yeah.
control,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Free will. That's what it's called.
And it all depends on where you're trying to go and what you're trying to get and how you trying to get it.
Yeah.
You know.
I really just want to say, I think no matter what topic we have, I feel like it always boils down to communication and understanding that it's better to have any conversation you need to have than to not have it. Because some people say, I'm not even going to bring it up. So you rather walk away and say nothing because you know that's not going to fix that. That's not going to
Yeah.
end there. You're going to see each other again. It's going to still live until you address it.
Yeah.
The things that you try to avoid don't just die. It's like energy. If I have the conversation, I can fix the energy in the room. It changes the energy of the room, but the energy doesn't die.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't have the conversation, the energy is just uncomfortable. Either way, the energy is in the room. So just have the conversation.
With this topic coming up now, do you feel like you still have relationships that you may not always just have the conversation the way you need to?
That's a good question. I really can't. Somebody else probably would have to say, "Well, I think you could have done better in that conversation." I have a lot of conversations now.
Mm.
I just say it. I'm gonna tell you though, it's not. It's still not easy. Sometimes, even in a moment, I had to say, "Okay, y'all on the phone, do it," and just do it. I
Mm-hmm.
had to like get myself prepped for it. Sometimes in certain conversations, especially like I have a relationship now that I will say it's still a struggle of me trying to figure out about the lot. I don't this is more of a conversation with myself. Girl, you know you ain't aligned with him no more.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you still trying to hold on to that piece that gives you comfort? So this is more about me telling me. This ain't even about having a conversation with him. Because
Right.
sometimes letting go means you need to have a real conversation with yourself.
Right.
So those are the conversations I think if I'm struggling, it's with me, not with the other person. At least I don't think so. Do you have any relationships
that I feel like I
that
might be struggling to.
struggling to let go of?
Probably my son. He gets the hell on my damn nerve. Oh, we not talking about.
No,
Oh shit.
no, no.
Um, no. Honestly, I don't think that I have any relationships that I'm, which like outgrowing or nothing like. I think I've placed everybody in a category. Everybody has a category. I don't feel like I gotta have there's a conversation that needs to be had, or and I'm just afraid to have it. I'm not afraid of losing anymore. I think you gotta get to a point where you're not afraid of losing, and losing is a part of the struggle. It's a part of the growth.
It
Sometimes you gotta
is.
take a L. So when you become comfortable, not become comfortable with losing, but when you become comfortable that everything and everybody is not a W.
Yeah.
So now it's like I rather, and you know that feeling that you have when you get around somebody and it's just I don't like that feeling. So that it makes me feel
Yeah.
away, and I gotta get it out. And I think that's what you think I got the itch. And I think that's why I've been so vocal my whole life, because when things didn't make sense, it made me feel uncomfortable. I've also had relationships that it wasn't a safe space to even tell you how I felt. And I realized that I had to separate from those relationships, because
Yeah.
everybody ain't, even if you say it the best way you know how,
Yeah.
some people are not in a position to receive what you got to say. And in my opinion, I distance away from those relationships that don't come off as a safe space. But currently, is this something that I need to say to somebody? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, you've done a lot of work on yourself and your relationships. And like you said, you place them in categories. Even the ones that sometimes you got to walk away from for a moment. You know, not to keep on reference puzzles, but that's my thing. But even when you're doing a puzzle, you know how sometimes you got to get up and you got to walk away from it because it feel like you can't find nothing else go together, and you know
Absolutely.
it do. But once you
You know it's
leave,
there somewhere.
you know it's there
You go get
somewhere.
refreshed, come back.
And you come back later or the next day, and all of a sudden things are coming together.
Absolutely.
And that's how life is. It just is. Step away.
And some relationships will find their way. They'll find their way. For some, that puzzle will find, that piece will find its way over. You like, this was right here the whole time, ain't no way. But some relationships will find their way, and you realize that you can't do nothing about it. Because there's some relationships that you try to, hold on to, and you just lose. You be like, damn, okay. And you start to understand that this is a part of the process. And I can't reach back and try to. Don't reach back. Let that be where it's at. And then when you start to look at your life, sometimes almost instantly, you'll lose a relationship and then your bank account skyrocket. Or you'll lose a relationship and then you'll start that business that you've been talking about. Your focus change. Sometimes we spend so much energy on the wrong things that we miss out on that time to spend energy on the right things.
Right.
Because we don't, as women, sometimes we can't do two things at once. It's for some reason when we get a man,
right,
our money go. We won't go to work. We sick all the time. We want to be, our nervous system not regulated. But when we get out of
especially
that
when you're
relationship,
unaligned with the man that you're attached
when
to.
you unalign, yes.
Because when you're aligned with him,
you can, man, you could change the world. But when you unalign, he changes your world.
oh yeah,
And then you just,
yeah,
find yourself in some dark places.
you're like, how did I get here? Then you start going through the motions to get out of there, and it's like,
and then the thing is, it's anybody, because you can find yourself in the same things with friendships.
oh yeah,
Female friendships, male friendships, family members. I feel like outgrowing people is okay. That would be my takeaway for this particular topic. And I say that because I've outgrown, not even intentionally, relationships in my life that meant a lot to me. And I do think that it's important to have those tough conversations so that way you can be more in control of the direction that it goes in.
Yep.
If you don't do it, he will. That's what I know. So, my last thing is to ask the audience, have you ever outgrown someone but struggled to let them go?
Mm.
I also want to ask you all, are you holding on to people out of comfort or alignment? And then we're going to close with your answer.
The first one or the
Yes. Have you
second
ever
one?
outgrown someone but struggled to let go? Well, you kind of answered that. Unless you
Yeah.
got another answer.
Um.
No. Or you can answer my question. Are you holding on to people out of comfort or alignment?
Well, one person in my life, I really feel like it's crazy because I don't know. There's a part of me that feels aligned
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like the universe keep bringing us back together, and I don't know it's because we just haven't learned what we needed to learn, so we can let go, or because at one time this felt so comfortable.
Mm.
Oh, it felt so comfortable. Like sometimes I can still feel that comfort,
Mm.
but I know the alignment is off. It's like when you drive in your car and you get to 60 and it's all shaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this feels like.
Mm.
But as long as I stay under 60, I'm
We
good.
good. Mm-hmm.
That's what this relationship feels like. This situation is because I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah. Um, so I'm there with just that one. But the rest of them, I've learned to let the universe do what it do and not. One of my biggest things is not staying attached to the results. Because when you attach yourself to the results of things, people, money, that's the thing that drives you the craziest. I just feel like I should have this by now. I should. Why this many people don't like me? Why I don't have this many followers? Why, da, da, da.
Right.
And you just losing your freaking mind. But when you don't think about none of that, you just do what you do and let things do what they do. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no control over your skin shedding,
Yeah.
or when you comb your hair, that hair that came
Or the
out,
chin hair growing
or
in.
the chin. You know what you do? You just
Shave it.
shave it. You know what I'm saying? You just shave it. It grow back on your legs. You just shave it. Your toenails grow. You go to Ming Ling and she cut them
Ming Ling
down
get
and
you right
she get you right. She
every
got
time.
you. You got boyfriend. She got you.
Short nail, long nail.
Yeah, she got you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just keep moving. You don't look back. You don't try to overanalyze it like I used to do, overthinking. Like you overthinking that, girl. Bye. Let that shit go. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was a great topic, and I hope that our experiences can help mold or shape your experiences. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments below. Um, my takeaway will be to be okay with letting people go. Be okay with outgrowing people. And be okay with people leaving and you not even having an explanation why. Sometimes that is the alignment. So that's my takeaway. Did you have one?
No.
Okay.
Understanding communication is growth.
Amen. And on that note, we'll see you on the next episode. Episode. Ain't that how Dr. Dre did it?
Something like
That was
that.
Dr. Dre, right?
Yes, it
On the
was.
next episode.
Sometimes you gotta lose.
Mm-mm.